Oh man, the hypocrisy, the hypocrisy. Hello everyone, how are you guys doing? It's Professional here. So today I wanted to make a video on a story that really caught my eye, and this story shows just how hypocritical the Chinese government is. Now we've done several videos criticizing the Chinese government on this channel, but this story I think is of particular importance because this just highlights just how ridiculous the Chinese government's policy is. So what's the background? What's happening? India has banned several more more Chinese apps. They have banned 43 apps from mainland China. And the UK has also passed a new security law dealing with Huawei. And normally, we don't talk about politics and that type of stuff on this channel. This is a gaming channel after all. But the reason I talk about the Chinese government a lot in this channel is because I just cannot stand their censorship. I can't stand how they constantly ban things, tell people what they can and can't listen to, what they can and can't watch, and even what video games they can and can't play. And the funny thing about this story is that now that India has banned all of these Chinese apps, the Chinese government has actually claimed that India and Britain are censoring them. That the Chinese government is getting censored. You see the irony, the absolute irony in that, considering how much the Chinese government censors, their censorship is some of the most extreme in the world, and now they're accusing other countries of doing that to them. I think it's kind of funny. So let's read this story here, and I'll link this down below for you guys, and this is from ZDNet. China lashes out at India app block. UK 5G ban. Government officials express serious and significant concerns over India's move to block another 43 mobile apps developed by Chinese tech vendors, as well as the UK's new security law that threatens heavy fines for local telcos that use Huawei's 5G equipment. China has rebuked India's move to block another 43 mobile apps developed by Chinese tech vendors as a glaring violation of international rules. It also decrees the UK government's new security law, threatening hefty fines for telcos that use Huawei's technology 5G equipment for breaching free trade rules and eroding mutual trust between both countries. Glaring violation of international rules. What? And mutual trust between both countries. The Chinese government has banned so many things in their country. They have banned Winnie the Pooh simply because people were making comparisons between him and the Chinese president, and South Park even made an episode making fun of that, and South Park got banned over that. That's how ridiculous the censorship is. Google is banned in China. Twitter is banned in China, YouTube is banned, I believe Facebook is banned, and that's only a few websites. There is so many TV stations, channels, websites, products, services, all that are banned in China. And now, the Chinese government is claiming that India is somehow a glaring violation of international rules? What about all the stuff that you banned? The Chinese embassy in India said it firmly opposed the Indian government's repeated attempts at using national security as an excuse to prohibit Chinese mobile apps. It said in a statement Wednesday that it had always required Chinese companies operating overseas to adhere to and ensure compliance with international laws and regulations. They should also conform to public order and good morals, it said. Good morals, yeah. Like all of the stuff that you constantly ban, and people have to use VPNs in mainland China to access simple things like YouTube. The embassy's rebuke came after India earlier this week expanded its ban to include another 43 Chinese apps, including AliExpress, DingTalk, Mango TV, and Taobao Live. This had followed a previous ban of 59 mobile apps that had included TikTok, Weibo, and WeChat. India's Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology said the action was taken based on the inputs regarding these apps for engaging in activities that are prejudicial to sovereignty and integrity of India, defense of India, security of state, and public order. The funny thing about this is this statement that the Indian government made, this statement might have actually been made in order to troll the Chinese government. Because the Chinese government makes a very, very similar statement. I don't think it might be a coincidence. They made a very, very similar statement. Whenever the Chinese government bans something, Oftentimes they will ban anything that mentions anything to do with Taiwan. So anything related to Taiwan, they will ban. Anything related to Tibetan independence, they will also ban. And anything that criticizes the Chinese government or the Chinese Communist Party, they constantly ban. And the Chinese government makes a very similar statement in which they say that it's about protecting the sovereignty of the People's Republic of China, defending the People's Republic of China, and public order. Very, very similar to this. Just take a look at this on my screen right now here. This is from PlayStation Hong Kong. And a few weeks ago, this was updated on PlayStation Hong Kong's page. This was on their terms page. Read this right here about the new rules. This is extremely similar. Now, I don't know whether this was, PlayStation that had put this in, or whether the Chinese government were the ones that wrote this in, but this is PlayStation's argument for why they have actually put these new rules in. And as you can see, it's extremely similar, talking about the sovereignty of the People's Republic of China. So basically, the Indian government has taken the Chinese government's own statement and used it against them, and they're furious about that. And I honestly think that that's hilarious, because it is showing the hypocrisy of the Chinese government. Because basically, what I'm getting from this, from the reaction of the Chinese government is, we can ban whatever we want, we can censor whatever we want, but you don't have the right to ban our stuff. We can ban your stuff, we can ban your websites, we can ban your services, we can ban your products and censor them as much as we want. We can do whatever we feel like doing, but you better not censor anything. You have no right to censor anything. Everything that we censor is for a reason, but everything that you censor is wrong. That is exactly the reaction that I'm getting from this. That is exactly what's going through my mind right now when I think about their reaction. You see the massive hypocrisy. The Chinese embassy, though, called for its India counterparts to provide a fair, impartial, and non-discriminatory business environment for all market players, including China. It added that India's discriminatory practices were in violation of World Trade Organization rules. I'm sorry, I'm trying hard not to laugh at this, because this is just so ridiculous. China and India should bring bilateral economic and trade relations back to the right path for mutual benefit and win-win results on the basis of dialogue and negotiation, the embassy said. Where was the dialogue and negotiation when you ban Google, when you ban YouTube, when you ban Twitter? Common sites that people are able to access in other countries are just banned. Where is the dialogue and negotiation on that? And I love how they constantly reference WTO rules here, that it's discriminatory practices. So let me get this straight. All the stuff that the Chinese government has constantly censored and banned over the years, that's not discriminatory practices. Simply banning a TV show because it makes fun of the government's censorship is not discriminatory practices. Banning a cartoon because people are making memes about the Chinese president is not discriminatory practices. Fair, impartial, and non-discriminatory business environment for all market players, yeah, sure. During a daily press conference, China's foreign ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian expressed serious concerns over India's 4 separate moves since June to impose restrictions on Chinese mobile apps under the pretext of national security. You do the exact same thing. Zhao said these moves, in glaring violation of market principles and WTO rules, severely harm the legitimate rights and interests of Chinese companies. China firmly rejects them. What about the rights and interests of these other companies that you're constantly censoring? He added that India was responsible for observing market principles and safeguarding the legal rights and interests of its international investors, including Chinese businesses. India could make this exact same argument back, and any country could make this exact same argument back, that the Chinese government is talking about its international investors, but then, I don't want to be defending, mass corporations here. But the point that I'm making is that they're complaining about the rights of their investors in other countries, but then they're constantly shutting down websites in their country, shutting down services, TV stations, censoring what you can read on the internet, even limiting the amount of video games that you can play, even limiting the hours that you can play video games with. And they're talking about discriminatory practices. He urged the Indian government to retract its ban or risk further damage to bilateral cooperation between the two nations in which economic and trade cooperation should be mutually beneficial. Mutually beneficial. Kind of ironic how they're using that statement. And now we move on here to the UK's ban. Zhao also lashed out at the UK's new security law, which threatened local telcos with hefty fines if they proceeded to use Huawei's 5G equipment despite an existing ban on the deployment of such systems. Now, this is a phone maker in mainland China, and I believe that they also provide a mobile service as well. I'm pretty sure on that. But basically, this service is now banned in the UK. So Huawei cannot operate their mobile services in the UK. Their phones, I believe, are still, correct me if I'm wrong, their phones are still allowed in the UK, but their mobile services are not. And the reason that the UK and other countries have put this ban on is because the founder of this company, he had served in the Chinese military for almost 10 years, and the fact that there's specific laws in China that state that corporations have to comply with the security services of the government. So even if Huawei is not listening in on people or spying on people, the Chinese government could easily go up to them and tell them, okay, hand us all records of customers in other countries. Doesn't even have to be China. They can listen to people in other countries. They can give that over to them, and they can spy on them. And there's a reason that, for instance, that, websites like TikTok, which originated in China, there's a reason that websites like this, you are not allowed to use on U.S. military bases. If you're a soldier or you enter a U.S. military base, you cannot have that on your phone. There's a specific reason for that. The government suspects that this might be used for spying. And so far, there hasn't been much to demonstrate this, but it's extremely suspicious. This is a mass corporation that comes from mainland China. The Chinese government is trying to push this mobile service in other countries. They're really trying to get people to use it. So you begin to ask yourself, with all the censorship that goes on in China, the mass amounts of government control, could they be listening in on people's phone calls? Could they be seeing what you're doing on the internet, on your phone if you're using their service? They definitely could. So here, to wrap this video up, let's show some Chinese censorship that we got right here. Let's look at this. And this is from, the source right here is travelchinacheaper.com. I will link this website down below. And this talks about common websites and apps that are banned in China. So let's take a look at this right here. Gmail is banned, Dropbox, Google Apps, Microsoft OneDrive, Slack, I don't know what that is, Google Play, Hootsuite, don't know what that is too, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Pinterest, Quora, Tumblr, Reddit, AO3, YouTube, Dailymotion, Vimeo, Twitch, Periscope, Pandora, Spotify, SoundCloud, the New York Times, BBC, Financial Times, Wall Street Journal, Reuters, CNN, Time, Google, Amazon, Wikipedia, DuckDuckGo, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Telegram, Line, Signal, Cow Talk, Medium, Blogspot, WordPress.com, Skype, Google Hangouts, and this is only a small amount. These are like the larger sites that are banned right here, but this is only a small amount of the amount of censorship that goes on in mainland China. And people in mainland, I feel really bad for people that have to deal with this in mainland China. It's ridiculous. It's nonsense. People oftentimes use a VPN so that they can still access these websites, but people shouldn't even have to use a VPN in the first place. They should be able to access these websites. The government should be telling people what they can and can't go on, what website they can and can't go on. You can't do something like that, but this is only a small portion of all the stuff that's censored in China. Like I said, there's so much more stuff that's censored because the Chinese censorship is some of the most ridiculous in the world, and now the Chinese government has the nerve to actually act like they are being censored here. Like they are being specifically targeted. Ridiculous. What about all of your censorship? What about all your nonsense? Like I said earlier in this video, their attitude is we can censor whatever we want, we can ban whatever we want, but then when another country bans our stuff, no, you can't do that. That is their attitude. That is their exact attitude. The same censorship that they do in their country, they are against other countries doing that to their services. So let me know down below what you think. And another thing I want to wrap up is when products are when websites and products are specifically, banned from, mainland China, obviously not everything from mainland China is going to be corrupted by the Chinese government, but a lot of the stuff that is specifically banned from China is banned over concerns that these websites, these apps could be used to spy on people, versus in China, mainland China, when this stuff is actually banned, they ban this stuff because they don't want people accessing freer information. Because if people access different types of information, they look up different things, they might question the Chinese government. This is why authoritarian governments oftentimes, they limit the amount of information that you can access, because they know that if they limit the amount of information that you can access, they have a greater chance of possibly brainwashing you and getting you to think a certain way. So let me know what you guys think down below. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like. If you're new to my channel, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone.